Living_core donated $200. Andrew, explain why you believe tone and delivery aren't important in debate. I understand it doesn't change the logic of your argument, but acting as though it doesn't matter is literally retarded.
The only reason that you think that is because it's women being made uncomfortable. If this was the tone with men, which would take all the time, you'd be in the audience fucking cheering me, like you probably already have. It's only because it's women being made uncomfortable, and that makes you a simp, sir.
No, he just understands that women don't understand things at a certain tone. Like,
it sounds like you understand it fine.
well, no, a lot of women though. I was raised by a single father.
All right, so
it's
you
different.
so
Like,
you're
and I
capable
don't
of rationality, just most
no,
women
and I
aren't.
still don't understand. A lot of times, if you approach a woman emotional or in a tone that
My
sounds
arguments
emotional,
aren't for you. It's for the thousands of people watching.
Yeah, but
I don't care if I change your mind or not.
No, but the fact is, if you approach a conversation with a certain tone that is offensive to women, most of their brains turn off. It's
Good.
Like, but they're
It's
the ones
because-
that need to learn.
Well,
It's because-
they're not going to listen. Do you think that there's anything that I can say to a woman who's a libertarian feminist to explain to her that she's actually a libertarian feminist and not a right-wing conservative, regardless of my fucking tone? No, there's nothing I could say.
Well, here's the thing. There's nothing I can say to a condescending asshole
You can.
to tell him I'm not a feminist and he'll
You
believe
can say it all you
So-
want, but
I mean, Jesus did it. I mean, Jesus showed love to people and with his words.
yeah,
as
and he
well,
called them
and
pit of vipers, and he called them Pharisees, and he ran them out of temple after he
he
fashioned a
didn't talk
whip.
to women like that.
How do you know
Yes.
what he talked to women like?
what
You mean
we
when he
saw in
told
the
a woman
Bible's
to
examples, we didn't see that.
listen.
I don't
Moving
see
back,
how you're convincing.
Jesus
Is anyone
didn't
here at
talk to
this
women in
table
a mean way.
convinced
I don't
by
care if I
you?
convince
Like,
you. It's not
you're
for you. My
convincing
arguments
anybody.
aren't to
Convincing,
convince
it's
you.
about-
They're to refute your arguments.
I like the way that he speaks. I feel like it gives me more leeway to be meaner back.
Good.
When it comes to arguing.
By the way, that's also
But
part of
that's why it
entertainment.
is a problem, though, because I
That's part of
understand that
entertainment.
I'm a very masculine woman because of, no dad. So I'm very comfortable with acting that way. However,
Good.
lots of other women, like she has just said, are scared of retaliation from men and are scared of talking to men in a similar tone
It's
if
not
that tone is taken
they're
up
afraid
against
I'm
them.
gonna-
It's
Wait,
not. What
wait.
I said has nothing to do with
You think
feelings.
you
But, like,
think they think
disrespect?
I'm gonna go beat them up?
No.
Like, what are you
no,
talking
but
about?
No. But over time, that's kind of something that's naturally ingrained in you. It's like I said with the male gaze. Maybe you're not going to beat me up, but like 200 years ago, you would have stoned me to death, and that tends to travel over decades. And
It does.
Societally, we
Your
tend
ancestor
to know.
maybe possibly getting stoned to death 1,000 years ago means something
You
to
know
you
that's
now.
not my
Generational
point.
trauma.
No, I
You
don't
know
know
that's
what
not my
that's not your
My
point. That
is
was the point you just
My point
made.
is that in general, women
No.
are less likely to talk back.
The
to
thing
men.
that
my point
here's the
is,
thing.
why would a man speak to a
Most women,
wage
here's the
knowing
truth.
that
Most
she's
Women are less
women
likely
are
to insult a
never
man.
most women are never made to feel uncomfortable
That's
by a
my
man.
question.
And so when they are, a lot of women panic and freak the fuck
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
But
Whereas a
lot
man in that
of
situation would
men-
attack back.
A lot of men
I mean, a lot of the men on
also
the podcast
panic
wouldn't
and
speak
freak
like this
out.
if they're
But
fucking
I don't
crazy.
understand. If the feminist egalitarian belief is that we're fucking equal and interchangeable widgets, then be uncomfortable.
That's
be
what
made
I'm doing.
uncomfortable.
If we're
That's what
not
I'm doing.
equal,
I'm saying I'm
And you're the
disagreeing
only
with
part of
women.
this that's been entertaining so far.
I think that
That's
you kind of represent like what is the polar opposite to the feminists in a opposite end of the spectrum, where
Good.
the feminists represent a very radicalized, toxic version of femininity, and what you're representing is
It's
a very
toxic masculinity.
No,
Go
a
ahead. Go
very
ahead.
Radicalized. No, I'm not going to say that. No.
Yes, you were.
No, you are representing a very radicalized version of what it is to be a man,
If I'm on-
and you are speaking in such a way that is very condescending.
If I'm on the extreme end of toxic femininity, that would make it what? Finish the sentence for me. Toxic masculinity, right? If that's the extreme end to the toxic feminist, wouldn't that be toxic masculinity?
What you're essentially espousing here are what I'm getting at is very radical beliefs.
No, they're not
that
radical
aren't in
beliefs.
line.
What makes them
with-
radical?
They're not in the middle, and they're not in line.
Is the
with
only
center.
thing that makes a
and
thing-
most people's belief sets are you would say the majority of the population's
Mm-hmm.
belief sets are going to be in that center range, and then you have some of the people who are like super ultra radical on both
What do
sides
you
of the
say
argument.
about people
but
who
I would say
say-
that they're both toxic.
Yeah, what do you-
Andrew, may
and
I
they end
please
up being
ask you a
both
question?
toxic to the nuclear family.
Yeah. What do you think that? Do you think that people who call Alex Jones's beliefs radical are correct?
Probably. I want
What's
to hear
the
Eden's
point?
question.
And no, I want an answer to mine. Do you think that people who call Alex Jones's beliefs radical are
We're
correct?
not talking about Alex.
The
Jones
reason
right
I bring Alex Jones up and his beliefs and whether or not they're radical is because there's millions upon millions of people who say that they're radical beliefs. Are they wrong? And just calling something radical, by the way, leftist tactic, just calling my beliefs
now.
radical
Well,
without
you can talk
refuting
about-
them.
I can refute it.
Then refute them.
I'm trying to explain right now. Is there's more centric beliefs, and then there's beliefs that you would see on opposite sides
It's
of
an argument
a
ad
spectrum.
populum.
An opposite side of a spectrum.
That's an
okay?
argument ad populum.
But what I would say is that both sides, when you're way too much on this crazy deranged I hate men spectrum versus this other very degrading I hate women spectrum.
hate women. Where did you ever come up with that?
Well, you're saying women shouldn't be able to vote.
Why does that mean
and
that you hate them?
Andrew, can I ask
Okay.
you a question
Do you think
real
felons
quick?
should be able to vote?
The way you
Do you
talk
think
to the
felons
women-
should be able to vote?
Listen, you're talking about.
Does that mean you hate them?
You're talking about the questions you're pointing at. All the women on this table here are very much about your values based on your looks.
That's right.
Rate yourself
No.
1 to 10.
Those aren't
you
even
know,
my questions.
And then
Yeah, those are
you
my
shouldn't
questions.
be able
Those are
to
his
vote.
questions.
Those are my questions.
You shouldn't be able to have a
Andrew's
say.
a feminist.
I don't
in
know where
government.
he came
You
up with the
shouldn't
idea.
be able to have a role in
I don't give a
government.
shit how any of you look. I'm just here for the arguments. I could give a fuck less.
He doesn't give a fuck.
I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
so why was it such a big issue to try to essentially
Because you took
ask
a
us about our
position that I
numbers?
found absurd, so I argued
Okay.
it.
And can I ask
That's
you?
fine, but here's the problem with when you
Do you think
have
when I
the
do debates with
females-
women, I come out and go, now how would you rate yourself? I don't give a fuck how they look.
He
I'm
doesn't
here
care.
to do a debate.
I feel like you guys are talking in circles. Can she ask her question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
go
I
ahead.
feel like we're gonna finish the argument real quick. Hang on. So back to
not
this.
gonna
We're almost done.
Do you believe in democracy?
No.
Can we take a vote?
Can we get back to this?
I would say not
An
believing in the
argument-
Constitution
an
in
argument
the United
ad,
States is kind of radical.
An
but
argument ad populum.
me.
Well, it was in the Constitution that we had slavery. Did you believe in the Constitution then?
I've always believed in the Constitution.
Except for the.
I didn't
Did you
believe
believe
in
in the
slavery.
slavery? Oh, you didn't. So you don't believe in the Constitution.
Well,
Oh, you didn't believe in the Constitution.
so you believed in slavery?
No, of course not.
okay.
But you're making the argument to me. I don't believe in the Constitution. When
Well,
I
you
put it right
said
back
that.
on you, neither do you. So who cares?
Okay. Thank you. So, I wanted to ask you. So
I do believe in the Constitution, by the way. Sorry.
Just as
No,
it's
it's
written
okay.
right now. It's perfect right now.
yes.
Like,
Go ahead.
for instance,
Don't let him interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask this, and I wanted to come at this from a Christian perspective because I'm genuinely really curious. I'm not trying to like back you into a corner or anything. I'm genuinely curious. So a lot of times on this show, I've seen a lot of girls who claim to be Christian. They come on here and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm on OF or I'm doing X, Y, and Z thing," and you know, you or someone else points out, well, that's kind of conflicting, right?
Sure.
So do you think that sometimes that your delivery can be kind of conflicting with Christian values? I know that Jesus
yeah,
flipped the
that's what I
tables
was
and
saying.
everything, but I think there is a time and a place, and I think there is a way to conduct yourself. And I know that being polite, you know, it's and debates don't really go together a lot of times.
Would you be
but
nice to a Satanist?
yes, of course.
And would you be nice to Satan?
That's a
love the
grand
sinner
question.
and hate the sin.
Yeah, love the sinner and hate the sin.
There
That's
is a
nowhere in
certain
the
way-
Bible. You just made it up.
No,
I-
that is
well-
in the
Where?
Bible. That is in the Bible.
Where?
Well,
In chapter, you just made it the fuck up?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Earlier,
you did.
earlier you
Okay.
said.
Go
Wait,
ahead,
I have
pull it
something
up.
to say.
Pull
Earlier,
it up. Let's find
earlier-
out if you're right.
I mean, I don't have my.
I
phone.
would-
Andrew,
No, we'll pull it up.
Andrew, please.
What's it
Earlier
called?
you said
Chapter,
that.
You just made it the fuck. Is that what
That's
should we
Yeah,
do?
crazy.
chapter, you just made it the fuck
Andrew,
up.
earlier you said that patriarchies have historically protected women. Can you cite something for me, or chat? Did you just make that the fuck up?
Yes, I can. Actually, here's a great example of it. Have you ever heard of the Byzantine Empire?
Yes.
Well, who ran it?
Constantine.
Okay, great.
Bitch.
Constantine. Did Constantine put in a code?
Hold on.
Probably
wait,
put
wait.
up a law.
Can we not
Did
do name
Constantine?
calling? Let's not do name
Did Constantine
calling.
put in a code?
Oh, but he can call me
I was
names.
gonna say he can belittle.
Yeah.
all
What was
of
it?
us.
Nobody.
Probably there was
runs
probably
the
something
show.
about not raping women, but they probably still raped the shit out of all the
Oh,
women.
they probably did, huh? Based on you just made it up. Based on I just
sorry.
made it the fuck up.
yeah,
like you do
Yeah,
everything.
but you don't have evidence for your point either.
I do have evidence. We just agreed
What's the
Constantine
law? What's the law
put
that he made?
in
What was the
a
law?
code. So
What was the code?
so here, Constantine, after he took or converted over, inside of the Byzantine Empire, yes, of course, there was a doctrine that women were to be protected. And the reason that this happened is because one of the great assets when it comes to wartime is to make sure that your women are
Can you
protected.
tell me the
because-
specific tenets
no,
of
I
the
don't need to
doctrine?
give you
Yeah.
the specific code to note that there is one.
Oh, so it's the you made that shit up chapter?
That's a genetic. What you're making right now is a genetic
I'm
fallacy.
using the same fallacy that you've been using on
What's-
all of us,
what's
which is show me the
fallacious?
exact evidence. Show me the exact
Nope.
date, time, whatever.
When did I say that? On an exacting when it wasn't the position that you postulated.
You said that patriarchies have historically protected women.
And I just gave
that
an
is
example that
false.
you agreed with.
Okay, but that is false in more cases than it
Then
is
give me a
correct.
case where it's false and we'll argue it.
I hate it so much.
It's okay. We don't have to argue.
No, we do. Give me a case
I
and
would
we'll
like
argue
someone
it.
else to be
Give
able
me
to
a case
speak.
and we'll argue it.
Like I said, because
you
keep
don't
bringing up
fucking know
specific
one.
Cases.
You don't know one.
But yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but yeah.